Okay, Dornie Ferry, third part. This where it gets a little trickier here. First thing on this first measure is to think of the accent pattern that's being played, and we're going to connect it with rolls because it's one of those things where the mechanics of the rolls, you got 7-stroke rolls, which are 3 strokes, which are going across triplets, which means they don't mechanically count out in anything that makes particular sense. So you have to kind of think of motions to fill the dots rather than the hand has to be proportionally this much compared to the previous one. Anyway, we're going to look at that first measure. The big trick is that it sort of feeds into this 9-stroke roll that goes into the second measure. So we've got a little pattern, da 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 da. That's where the roll starts. So da, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 with a roll, 3, 4, da 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 da. 2, 3, 4. So we're going to fill in between those accents. The first one, if you look at it, is again our 7-stroke roll across the triplets da-da-da routine. And that actually from the first downbeat to the second downbeat is exactly one of those. Only that last stroke, that's going to be the start, and that's on a downbeat of hand-to-hand 7s. So, or hand-to-hand 6s, whatever the mechanical or proper terminology is. That ends on the second stroke of the triplet in there on the third beat. So we're going to do triplet strokes from that end of that roll into the downbeat, which would be where we'd be starting that 9-stroke roll. So that gets a little da 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 at the end. Now, the last stroke of that is the beginning of our 9-stroke roll, so we'll put all of that together, if it makes any sense, and we'll play the first measure of the third part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a 9-stroke roll, not a 13-stroke roll. So when you're practicing it slow, don't let your brain do what mine does and try to fill that in with too many strokes, because when it gets up to speed, it's got to be a 9. After that, we have a little zippy 5-stroke roll on the left hand, and our draggy 5 singles again into triplets. So we got that happening a lot in here. Second measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that, at the end of that, is actually the start of, sort of the start of the same roll routine. We do the same roll part in the third measure all the way to the third beat triplet routine, whatever, but instead of doing, we do a little 5-stroke roll that slips in there that goes into the fourth downbeat. So it doesn't do exactly the same as the first measure. It's sort of a variation on here, but we still, I'll play it, and that might make more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. we're doing the little 3 strokes, as you can see, where we would normally in the first measure we go into the 9-stroke roll, but in this case we're just going to come in after the end of that hand-to-hand 7 bit. We go into a 5-stroke roll into the downbeat. That'll get tricky to keeping the separation in there because it's going to altogether too easily turn into just a bunch of hand-to-hand 7s because they're almost exactly the same motions. You just create that's that little exercise of taking that hand-to-hand 7 and inserting a little gap before you start the routine again, because that's exactly what's happening here. So that you can hit it. Okay, and this one has all kinds of interesting things happening in it because no, third part doesn't. It's the fourth part that has a second ending to it. Never mind. So, theoretically, we do into the ending. So, in my rambling way, that part gets repeated. Cool. I'm going to play the third part without further ado. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four.